Yep.
Disneyland or Disney World? What would you pick?
Oh, I'm not touching that one.
Come on,
Both.
come on.
Both.
No.
They're different. They're so different in their own way. They have their different charms.
Which Magic Kingdom is better?
Oh.
Joseph here, and we're on episode 11 of my fellow Wanderers podcast on Small Town Wanderers, and I'm here with a couple that I literally just talked to verbally for the very first time like 2 minutes ago, and they're here on episode 11. This is Chris and Chelsey, and they are an amazing couple. At least they are on Instagram, because
that's all this one.
I know your Instagram game is pretty weak, Chris.
It is. Yeah. I'm not good on the social media. So
well, it could be good for anybody. You can always get better. We don't ever want to live in the what you were, but what you can become. I'm not sure we'll be able to get a video. I might throw the video up. I was for sure going to do a video if Chris's mustache was still rolling, but he's got a smaller mustache right now that's still legitimate. He's got red hair, and what nationality are you, Chris?
Scottish, Irish, and Norwegian. So really pale.
Okay.
Yeah.
We call that the Conan O'Brien here up north.
Yeah. That's it.
And Chelsey is also on. You guys just got married a year ago.
Yes.
A
year ago in
6 days.
Yeah. Chelsey, do you remember, just to give some context of our relationship, which goes back a long time, as in like over a year. Do you remember the first time that we communicated?
I think so. So we were doing some research on Couples Tower Isle in Jamaica, where, we wanted to dance the night away with reggae music and eat all kinds of jerk chicken and everything. So we'd heard a lot about Couples Tower Isle and how amazing it was. And so, of course, first thing I did was go to Instagram and start looking at real people's photos.
Real people's photos.
Real people's photos. And you and your beautiful wife were the real people that I found.
Did you find any, let's just be honest with me. Was I like the realest person you ever saw on that beach?
Absolutely. You were living your best life.
You actually, you started asking me questions while I was there. And
that's right. Yeah.
And we hit it off, and I'm like, and that was literally when I started to become a travel agent too. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is how this works. People ask questions. And it was, your responding to me actually was encouraging in that respect of going, oh, I think there's actually other people out there besides my little small town of Rhinelander, Wisconsin. There's other people that want to go travel and are encouraged. And so I just went crazy for a couple days, and it's your fault.
You're welcome.
Yeah. You guys are from Dallas. Did you both grow up there?
No, actually.
Yeah.
Well, in a roundabout. You can go first on yours.
Yeah, so I actually grew up in San Diego a little bit, and then moved to East Texas, so like country, and then found my way back to the city, moved to Dallas, Fort Worth area.
Yeah.
And then bounced around in DFW.
Yeah. And I'm originally...
If you're listening online, he just threw some slang down, DFW. That's Dallas, Fort Worth.
Yes.
We're here to help all of our people that don't know Southern slang.
Oh, yeah. And I'm originally from, we say Dallas, but it's the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. I'm from a pretty big little town called North Richland Hills, Texas. And I've been in this area pretty much my whole life, except for my little stint I did with Disney, and I lived in Orlando for a little less than a year.
We got to get to that in a hot second. Most of us worked for the man. You worked for the mouse.
Well, and we actually met working for Radio Disney here in Dallas.
I don't know if you know, this is our 11th episode, but this is our third person we've interviewed from Texas. I'm from Wisconsin. Out of 11 episodes, I've had 3 interviews from people from Texas. One from San Antonio, my friend from down there, and then another one that's a transplant up here. She lived in Stratford, Texas. Do you know where that is? Do you know where Stratford is? For 10 points. I'll give you 500 travel points.
Ooh.
If you know where Stratford, where the nearest town to it is, biggest town around it.
It's south.
South?
Oh, actually, I had no idea. That was just
Lubbock.
It's actually one of the most northern towns in
way off.
in Texas. You're way off. It's north of Amarillo or wherever that thing is.
That's our state animal.
Yeah. It's way up by the border of that state above you.
Interesting.
She was there. That was a great interview. Talk to us about Dallas, though. So don't talk to me about San Antonio or Stratford, because you obviously don't know anything about the beautiful town of Stratford.
Yeah.
What's there that we should go? Because you guys, and we're going to get to your web page too, because you have the coolest web page name, and you do a little bit of meandering with your life and all that. But you also talk about some things around you.
Yeah, so Dallas Fort Worth. I don't even know how to say it in a nutshell. We actually live in Grapevine, which is smack dab in the middle of Dallas and Fort Worth. So you kind of get a little bit of the funky town, and then you also get like the cool, trendy Dallas.
Funky town. Is that where that song's from?
Yeah, that's I know what song it's from.
Yeah,
or what movie?
The Funky Town song. It came from Grapevine.
Grapevine?
Let me take you to Funky Town.
True. You do the Grapevine.
Yeah.
Something like that?
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll go with that.
So if I'm going to go to Dallas, what's something I would do in Dallas that it's maybe off of the beaten path? Like, everybody sees the top 5 things to do in Dallas, but where would you guys go? Where would you bring your friends if we came into town? Where would you bring me?
So
I feel like we're already best buds.
Oh, probably the good area is Deep Ellum.
Deep Ellum?
Deep Ellum, ELLUM.
Okay.
M as in Mary. It's actually pretty popular now, but about 4 or 5 years ago, it was just kind of, I guess you could say the hipster kind of scene. Just nobody really went there. They all went to Uptown, which was a few blocks away. But Deep Ellum was really our spot that we like to go to because it's very chill. Live music everywhere.
Yeah.
People walking around, different types of people.
Yeah. Eclectic food, music scene. I mean, eclectic people, all very artistic. It's a cool area. I like it.
You just go there and hang out and get some good restaurants, good music.
Yeah.
Good
drinks.
The thing I love about Texas or even Southern, we don't get this up north a lot, is that there is just music on the streets. There's things happening. People got the doors open on their businesses, like the big garage door type of thing, and people are just playing. And I miss that component of our life up here.
Yeah, that's something that you see out there too.
Yeah.
A lot of up and coming musicians. Some guys just grab a saxophone and just play on the street corner, But yeah, it's definitely a big music scene. I would say that's more prevalent probably in Austin. You see more street performers and the music. But Deep Ellum is I would describe it as just funky. It's just it's really cool. It's really trendy.
I thought you said your town was funky.
Well, Fort Worth is funky town. We call that funky town.
Okay. And then you have Uptown that's going to funk you up.
Yeah.
And then
there's a lot of funkiness, I guess, in this area. Yeah. And I would say
we have that up here in Wisconsin too, but it's because of our cheese. It gets a little funky sitting out a little bit.
Different type of funky.
Yeah.
I've got to visit. Yeah. I love cheese. I love it.
Yeah, she wants to buy cheese by like 5-pound bags.
I don't see any problem with it. I've always been like a total basic Velveeta cheese slice girl because the processed stuff is good too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I won't even edit that part out, but we'll let our listeners decide if you are now a credible guest or not by saying the word Velveeta and cheese in the same sentence.
Processed it. I know.
We call that Velveeta plastic up here.
Well, you do take the plastic off.
Yeah.
But it's still kind
why
of.
bother? Why bother? It's all the same.
True.
It's all the same. Have you ever had any good cheese outside of the country? Have you left the country besides Jamaica?
Jamaica, outside of Mexico and Jamaica, I have actually never left the country. So that's one of my goals is that I want to travel a lot more, especially outside of the States.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
Where
Hawaii was a long trip, but
where was that? Ohio?
No. Hawaii is a really long trip, but it's still U.S. So.
Yeah, I want to see the Dole plantation. I want to see the pineapples.
I can get you on a tour.
Yeah.
But I don't like to talk about my travel, side of my life. I don't want to sell travel on this podcast. I just want to talk to people.
Yeah.
But yes, you can go to Dole Plantation. There's a really nice tour that'll pick you up in Waikiki, bring you around. You get to see that. You get to go the whole loop around the back side of the island or the north side. That's cool. It's pretty nice, and you go to some other things, but you can have lunch at the Dole Plantation.
Ooh. All right, let's do it.
Super cool. What's on some of your wish list for you guys are a young couple, right? I mean, you seem mature, you seem all with it, but the reality is you're still young. You just got married, and so you got your life ahead of you as far as travel and experiences, and so obviously you're not going to have gone anywhere. But what do you have on like your United States wish list of places you'd love to go see?
United States, because I want to get out of the States.
Okay, well let's just cut to the chase then. What's some spots you got on your to-do list?
Well, I will say though, within the States, New York is one of my favorite places. It's just something about it. It just has a piece of my heart because I've been there a bunch when I was younger. And you've never experienced New York, so I like to go to New York again and see it through his eyes because it's cool. It's such a fun city. So.
Isn't it just an experience with anything? I love going to restaurants with new people. Yeah. And going, I want to buy, I love bringing people to sushi restaurants that have never done sushi. And I'll always buy the first time because I'm like, if you hate it, you had no money out and you can't hate me, but it's an experience. And if you love it, then you're going to pay next time, because you just see in their eyes like, oh my gosh, you just did this, or seeing what's around the corner, and it's that exciting. I've never been to New York either, so I have it on my kind of maybe want to go but don't need to go list.
Right.
Yeah.
But there's just something about New York. I just let the hot dogs. Oh. From the hot dog carts on the corner.
I love it. I like the hot dogs.
Yeah, and they're kosher.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I mean, there's
hot dogs is the first thing out of your mouth with New York.
I think because when I went, I was
like
10,
you even more than I used to like you.
Out of all the things to mention in New York, I was 10 the first time I was there, and it was such a cool thing to be wearing a big coat while it was snowing, and I walked up to this little cart vendor and I bought a hot dog that was sitting in some weird juice and got some ketchup and relish, and it was the best. It was the best. I'll never forget that memory. And the hot dogs are still my favorite. So
what outside of the country, what are you guys looking at?
I would love to go to Scotland.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then I know Greece is on the bucket list for sure for her.
Yeah. You don't want to go to Greece?
I mean, I want to go to Greece, but that's on
that's
like
my
list.
Yeah,
that's your top.
Right.
When you guys look to travel, as you guys are just, I would love to. Again, I know you from Instagram, which, by the way, how accurate is your Instagram to your actual life?
Pretty darn.
To a T for you.
To a T, I guess. Yeah, pretty transparent. What you see is what you get.
I feel like you're super fun, and then all of a sudden you like drop usually in your stories, like, hey, life is also sucks a little bit, and I'm going to let you know that too. And oh, by the way, I got a cute dog.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I'll be real.
But you like to travel with friends. It's just interesting. What's your take on that as far as just getting out into different cities with your friends? How do you navigate that? Because man, when I go out, if I go with multiple couples, usually somebody's slowing us down.
It's hard.
Yeah.
How do you guys do that without calling out any of your friends that are going to watch this? Because this is kind of an international podcast. It probably goes big and.
Well, this could be a good way of calling them out, maybe.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah,
but yeah,
if you're
no,
listening.
We've been on some recent trips where some friends, they like to go out where you could go out till like 4 a.m.
Yeah.
And us wanting to explore the city, we would want to wake up at 8, leave 9, and then go explore. And then it's just waiting on them. So it's kind of difficult. But we love hanging out with our friends and socializing. So it's a trade-off. We could just leave them.
There's Uber and there's Lyft.
I think we decided on that last time. But next time, if we travel with them, we're just gonna leave them.
Yeah. You do that once, they'll figure it out.
Yeah. Well, and we kind of decided too, like before every trip that we go on, we always say, like, what are the top 2 things that you absolutely have to do while we're there? And we have to make sure that if someone else gets left in the dust, we get to experience whatever it was that we intended on. But I think we actually kind of got used to traveling with friends in larger groups because of Radio Disney. We did a lot of our on-site promotions and events in Dallas and Fort Worth. But there were times that, we were in New Orleans, we were in Oklahoma, we were in Arkansas. We did this huge event in Arkansas.
It's pronounced Nolans and Arkansas. I don't know if you know that.
Oh, Arkansas and Nolans. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Noted.
I'll help you.
But yeah, we got used to traveling with a bunch of different people, a bunch of people from all different backgrounds and walks of life, and we all have different interests, and we all managed to make it work.
Yeah.
So you worked for Disney? You worked for Radio Disney, or did you work for like Disneyland Disney?
Yes,
did both.
I did both.
Okay.
I did the Disney College program right after I graduated from Texas State. Eat 'em up cats. And
are they wildcats or are they?
They're bobcats.
The bobcats. Okay.
Yeah, bobcats. No, but I moved to Orlando right after I graduated. Typically, you can do the college program while you're in college, and you can get college credit. I actually went after I was graduated, so it was just fun. It was just a free for all. So I lived out there for 6 months, and then after Disney World, I went seasonal. So I went back that following summer and worked with some other friends of mine. So coolest experience of my life, and it opened a lot of doors. Well, because of my Disney background, I ran into a lady that worked for Radio Disney, said they were hiring, and I met him on the day of my interview. So 2012 we met, and then we worked together for several years, and then here we are.
Is Radio Disney still going? You're talking to a guy that doesn't even have kids anymore. I don't even know.
It is different. It is different. It's on XM radio.
Yeah.
It's on their app. And I'm assuming you can stream through the website.
Yeah, but they're not local anymore. So we were just the DFW local market.
Okay.
And then they had local markets. They had like 24, and then they shut it down.
That's crazy. I never knew that. 24 local markets?
Yeah, and that was what was really cool about Disney, because we could actually bring the Disney experience to anyone and everyone at any point. And we could, some people might not ever get to go to Disney World or Disneyland, so we could bring that to them. So that was kind of a bummer that they closed the stations, but we loved it while our dog is trying to.
You're fine. It's a family show we got going on here. It's just your family.
Yep.
Disneyland or Disney World, what would you pick?
Oh, I'm not touching that one.
Come on.
Both.
No.
They're different. They're so different in their own way. They have their different charms.
Which Magic Kingdom is better?
Oh.
That's hard.
This really is going to test which princess you like the best.
I already know that answer. It depends. Disneyland is the first, and it's the original, and it's the classic. You feel Walt Disney himself within the parts of that park, and then Disney World it's bigger.
It's better. Did you say better?
It's bigger.
Okay, but it's better. You're in Texas. Everything bigger is better.
Yeah, true. Especially those
Yes,
5-pound
right.
mac and
California, he touched things there. Like that's a whole nother ball game, I guess. I would have went Florida until you just dropped that little fact back on us. So you're going to go non-committal with your Disney time. That's fine. You're probably still under contract. You probably got some leave thing. You know, you probably get severance every year because if you don't speak badly of the mouse.
True. If I don't do the official Disney.
If you are not watching this online, I think Chelsey just flicked me off. I'm not sure what happened. She did she called it a Disney something, but
Disney Point.
Oh, the point, like it's that way. Friends, come with me over here.
In some cultures, it is rude to point with one finger.
Yes.
So the 2-finger point. But then there's also the other conspiracy theory that the Disney Point came about. Dirt. Yeah.
Okay.
Disney Point came about because Walt Disney was always smoking. He always had a cigarette in his hand, and so he would point.
Nice.
It's never been proven. Never been
proven because he's dead. You don't
that
know.
We know of.
Talk to me about your website you have. I want to make sure to get that in before you guys have to go and cook dinner or something like that. I mean, again, you're newlyweds, you're young, you're probably gonna have dinner like at 10 o'clock at night. I'm already thinking of.
It's actually the opposite. We've been eating really early.
Yeah, like 5:30.
We also
COVID
like to
stuff. I'm eating at 4:30. I'm like having dinner at 4:30, and I'm like, all my kids just left to college. They got back to college, and we went from like 10 people in our house because everybody's living here this summer, and now I got one foster daughter here, and she goes to bed at 7. So, talk to me about the coolest website name, at least top 10 in my top 10 cool website lists.
All right.
Pineapples and puns, or is it puns and pineapple?
Pineapples and puns.
Is it pineapples?
Plural.
And puns.
Yep.
.com.
.com. Yep.
.com. It's part of it's just a young person's just foray into just writing and being who you are, so people can see. But there's also cool things you put on there about your land around you and just some ideas of things to do. And what brought you into wanting to let people know what in the world's happening in your life?
So I have always been an extrovert, if you couldn't tell. I always have something to say, a story to tell. I have some really random, weird, funny things that happen. And sometimes when I retell my day to him or friends or family, they're like, you should just write. Like, you should just write about it.
Chelsey, I don't know if you know it, but because I'm the same, that's code for your family to go, we don't want to hear about it anymore. Will you just write it down, and then we'll act like we read it.
Right. Well, opposites definitely attract, because I think I talk enough for the two of us.
Yes,
that's fair.
My wife said to me tonight, she says, I can't believe you're going to go talk to 2 random people. I'm like, I'm going to have the time of my life. She goes, I talked to 3 people today, and I'm like so wore out, and there were people I knew.
Yep. Sounds familiar.
Yeah, very familiar.
We might have part 2 of this podcast because Chelsey and I will be talking way into the evening. Wow.
Count me in. I got plenty to talk about.
All right, back to your website. I don't know if anybody heard that, but it's pineapplesandpuns.com.
Yeah, so Pineapples and Puns, the name kind of, I guess, embodies me. I come from a long line of hospitality and recreation and working in guest service and working with people, working with Disney. Pineapple being the universal sign of hospitality. I
did not know that. Is that something made up?
Yes, it's definitely not made up.
Okay. Oh my gosh, that's why you want to go see Dole. And okay, now it's all making sense.
Yes.
Not the sharpest person in these interviews, nor in life.
It's about learning stuff.
I'm catching on.
Yeah.
We're going to get you to Hawaii. Now you have a reason to go there.
Yes. Well, and now that you know that, your eye will be more keen to see hotels and different businesses. If they've got like the pineapple symbol, it's just that hospitality like background. So yeah, it's cool.
I'm not going to lie. When I look at your Instagram, I'm not a weird stalker person, but I do love interacting. I love people. So it's like, but I try to count how many pineapples are in your photos, just as a side gig. That one time you had like 40 different pineapples, or you said how many pineapples are in my house or something like that, and you had like 85 or something crazy, or
yeah, bless your heart.
I mean, I contribute.
He does.
It's an easy gift to give.
Yeah.
Gift to give. Yeah.
You're gonna love it like in 10 years when she's like, I'm sick of pineapples. And you're like, I bought all these. They're so dear to me now. And you're like, yeah, I'm over it.
Yeah. Pineapples are for sure. They're a thing for me. And then the puns, I actually randomly started putting stupid dad jokes and puns on Facebook back when I first got a Facebook in 2006 when I got a college email. Yeah. And I had a friend of mine stop me in the quad and say, listen, I was having a bad day. Your pun literally made it all better. And it kind of just became a habit of just randomly posting puns. I always have the best jokes in our friend group, like by far.
Yes.
I love people that are so confident. You just went right to the hoop and you slammed that ball into the basket right over Chris's head. And he stood there. He tried to block that one. He couldn't.
I wouldn't.
I can guarantee though, with every joke, there's always one person that's going to laugh.
Really? That's you. I love people that like say to me, like, will you tell a joke? Because I don't think I'm funny. I just think my life is randomly random and it's so different than most people. So they think, and they're like, well, tell us a joke. And I'm like, I don't know one joke. Like you and I would go well together because I don't know a joke. I just tell stories and stupid things happen and people laugh at it and think I made up something. So so pineapples and puns, and you're getting back on it post COVID, and you're gonna just tear it up. You're gonna probably get about at least 2 more people watching it, getting on it because of this
works for me
international podcast.
Hey, like I said, on one of my first posts, if I make one person smile,
exactly. I love that. That's why I am. I'm like, I don't care. And if nobody wants to get on these things, I don't feel like I have to do these every week. I'm like, if there's somebody that wants to do it with me, awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what my blog's about. I'm just going to talk about different things. And they always say when you start a blog, kind of have a little niche, like something that you want to cover or talk about.
It's actually a French word too. You probably haven't watched many of my podcasts, but we're really sticklers on language here. It's niche.
Niche. I say niche because I'm in Texas.
Because it's I think it's a Southern France word, so it's a little bit, I don't know.
Niche. Well, I don't really have a niche nailed down yet, but I'm just gonna call it a lifestyle. I call it a sweet and silly lifestyle blog because I talk a little bit about cool things that we do together as far as travel, like newlywed life, dog parent, my life, dog parent life. We go to a really cool brewery. We go to a really cool like pop-up in Dallas, Fort Worth, somewhere totally random outside of the Metroplex. And I'm going to talk about it because I want to share it and have other people enjoy it.
And that's why I think the more you find as you wander about, because this is Fellow Wanderers, as you wander about and share that, there's so many things in our world that people don't know about. And I'm just convinced most people don't know what's around them. I find that over and over again, like, oh, I didn't know that was there. And it's usually visitors that see things more than the locals because they're looking for it, and the locals are just locals. Well, we've talked way longer than I normally like to talk, but you guys are amazing. There's 2 of you. It's a 2-for-1 deal here at Fellow Wanderers this evening. I will put your web site in all of your cool socials. I'll even put Chris's on there too. But he's still back in like wedding mode. When he did have a pretty cool tux on, so it's worth going into it just for that, and seeing what they have going on. Anything else you want to say to any other fellow wanderers out there before you leave?
I guess
this is the point. This is a point in the show when the guests say something really profound. And then the music kicks in.
Ooh, that's good. Man, there's so much. What is your
Thank
little
you for
tidbit?
sharing today.
Oh,
I thought that was it. Oh, okay.
There's so much pie.
So much. See ya.
What would you say?
Visit Grapevine.
Yeah.
Visit
Right.
Grapevine.
We didn't even talk about Grapevine.
No,
really.
we didn't. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
Funky Town.
Well,
Well, yeah.
What else do you need to know?
It's
Talk to me
wine
about
town.
Grapevine, Chris. You guys live in
So,
Grapevine. Why would I
yeah.
go to Grapevine?
For the wine, hence the name Grapevine.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
she's back.
But yeah, so we are proud members of Messina Hoff Wine Club.
Oh,
So we actually have a pickup coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah, some good bottles.
Mm-hmm.
But we enjoy checking out the wineries. It's really, there's just a small downtown area called, it's on Main Street, and there's, I don't know how many wineries, 8, 10?
Yeah.
8, 10 wineries. I think there's a brewery nearby that we really like. And then during Christmas, they have a large Christmas display. I don't know if they call it the largest.
It's big. It's
It's
Texas.
big.
Texas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the largest.
You guys
It's
down
the
there
largest.
still claim
Yeah.
that you have that water park outside of San Antonio that you're like, it's the world's largest. And I'm like, no, it's not, because we have Noah's Ark up here in Wisconsin. That is the world's largest.
Yeah. So I actually also came from the water park industry. Like more to talk about. And so I've always wanted to go to Wisconsin Dells because I started in water parks.
Okay, I'm telling you, when you come up, then
Yeah.
we are going to get together. I
Yeah.
will show you Noah's Ark. And
Okay.
the Kalahari, and then we'll go to
Yes.
Poseidon's Rage.
Yes. And then we're gonna eat cheese.
I will give you some cheese too. We'll have a cheese curd, fried cheese curd. I'll show you the genre of them so that you can know what's a good one and what's an imitation.
All right. Perfect.
Get back to your wine club. Let's do a special issue just on the wine club that you guys have. What? Because don't tell my wife. She'll probably not. She won't hear this at all. But I just bought right before I got on about 33 bottles of wine from a certain company. I don't even remember the name of it. I got into wine this summer because I was like, oh, everybody's sending me all these Instagram things for free memberships.
Oh, yeah.
So I did them, and then I canceled them like a good American does. You guys are in a local wine club, or is it a?
It's the location that we actually signed up with is local,
Yeah.
but they're based out of Bryan, Texas, and they've
Okay.
also got a location in Fredericksburg, which Fredericksburg is kind of like the little Napa Valley of Texas, I
Yeah.
guess you
Yep.
could say. But Bryan is actually out near it's College Station in Texas A&M. So, but Messina Hoff is here local, and it's in this really cool historical building.
Mhm.
Service is always great. The wine is just amazing.
Yeah.
A huge selection. Yeah.
It's definitely the best wine.
Do you say the word MERLOT? Do you say that correctly, or do you
Merlot?
say- yeah, you say it wrong too.
Merlot.
Merlot.
Merlot, obviously.
No.
It's French.
It sounds like a Texan thing though.
Yeah.
Like just saying it real country.
So you have a lot of cool wineries there in the
Yeah.
Grapevine.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Am I sitting in a chair in Grapevine? Am I looking at just fields of amazingly immaculate rows of? That's more south.
It depends on how much wine you had.
Oh, okay.
But these locations.
Okay. That was not a pun. That was just good humor.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The ones off of Main Street are mainly just you buy the wine there.
Yeah.
But then they do have Delaney Vineyard, so there is a vineyard in Grapevine,
Mhm.
not
Okay.
too far away.
Actual vineyards. You can see the grapevines from the highway.
highway, yeah.
It's pretty cool
Okay.
as you're getting into grapevine. So it's actually kind of cool.
Awesome.
Yeah. We love it.
Yep.
We might just have a 5-minute segment just about wine.
We would listen.
Because I'm all about, people getting upset at me for promoting alcohol. So,
Jesus drank wine.
Yeah. He turned.
did I
water
just
into
say
wine.
I bought 38 bottles of wine? Did I really say that
It
online?
was like 45 or.
I
No,
had
it was
90.
2 cases of 15, and then it was like, "Do you want these 3 for like?" It was like 3 for $15 or 3 for $14. I'm like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Why
like
not?
Aldi price."
Wine not.
Wine not, and that, my friends, is how we're gonna sign off on this
Yeah.
episode 11. of Fellow Wanderers with Chris and Chelsey Graham, also from pineapplesandpuns.com, and an amazing young couple that we met online, and you can meet people online and not be weird. I mean, unless you thought this was all weird. So thanks for being on today, and fellow wanderers, get out and see the world, because there's a big world to see. All right.